snowy, and I ended up jumping exactly 16 feet, which is my second highest all-time. Actually, that's a lie, never mind. But then I attempted my American record, and I had a couple good attempts at my American record, and I was on new poles today, and so it was kind of an experiment. I wasn't sure if the longer poles were going to work for me, but I guess it did, because I jumped pretty high, and feeling good for Doha. That's where I'm headed next.
Nicer to be out in front of the full thousands of fans instead of the field house?
Yeah, definitely. Usually we're tucked away in the field house, and I mean, the fans are awesome either way. They always cram themselves in there to cheer for us, but at the same time, there's nothing like being in a stadium full of awesome, excited fans, and it's always awesome when they clap for you. They get the clap going, and you just feed off of the energy of the crowd, and yeah, I mean, they definitely got me over that bar today.
And how did the Capitol vault go for you? Or
the cap square vault.
Thank
you got
you,
it.
yes.
Yeah. Well, that was actually kind of a rust buster for me. So I won indoor world championships, and I kind of had a few injuries at Worlds. I came down on my pole twice, so I had a huge bruise on my thigh, and then I had some nerve damage in my elbow. So I had to take about 2.5 weeks off and then get back into training. So the cap square vault was kind of my first high energy full approach session since World Indoors, and so it was kind of a rust buster for me. I got third there, but then that kind of got my feet back under me, and then today I went out there and killed it, and just happy that the cap square vault's a good way to kind of get back in the rhythm of competing.
And have you been on the outdoor runway here? I can't remember if you competed here at Arkansas a couple times or not.
I have only competed outdoor here once, but it was on the other side of the stadium because they moved the pit for the wind, so this was my first time on that side of the stadium, and I definitely liked it. You're right in front of the crowd, there's tons of people right there, and all the pole vault fans can come over to that side and cheer us on.
And what did you learn to take away from today that you'll apply to USA Outdoors back here the next 2 Junes?
Yeah, well, today I was experimenting with some new longer poles, and they really worked out for me, so I was really glad to be there was mixed winds today, but you could catch that tailwind, and when you catch that tailwind, that's a good time to try some longer poles. Bigger grips is when you've got a wind behind you. So a couple of those attempts, I had that wind behind me. I was able to plant that new pole, make some bars on it, and I think that higher grip is going to set me up to jump even higher, hopefully at USA's.
Do you enjoy the setup of a meet like this where you're brought in and you guys are expected to put a show for the fans instead of the harsh competition of a USA meet where we're all wanting everybody to do great and put on a good show, and you enjoy that kind of a /athlete/ambassador for the sport?
Yeah, definitely. And I think no matter what the meet is, I try to just go out there and have fun, even if it's World Championships or the Olympics. I try to treat every jump like a jump. I stand on the runway and I focus on my mental cues, I focus on the energy of the crowd, and I try to treat every jump the same, and that helps me be consistent no matter what the meet is. But I won't lie, I also like to show off for the crowd, so when I get them clapping for me and I make a bar, I'm always super amped, and it always leads to higher heights when I'm in a good mood like that.
And after coming so close in Rio, tell me what the World Indoor title meant 2 months ago. What was
yeah, that
6 weeks ago?
Oh gosh, to finally win the gold after 3 consecutive silvers at major championships was kind of like breaking through this barrier that I felt like the world had just labeled me as Silver Sandi, and I was kind of out there to just prove that wrong. Like, I can win something, I can win this. And also, I wasn't very happy with my performances in 2017. My average height throughout the year was much lower than it was in 2016, and there were a few things going on with that, but this year I feel like I'm back to myself, back to my technique, my strength is up, and I'm healthy, so I feel like those higher bars are going to be more common this year, and I'm going to be more likely to win things with that.
Right.
Sandi, the fact that being right back up there at 16, I mean, like a lot of people would certainly excuse you that it's like, okay, well, after World Indoor and after such a peak, it's like, let's go back, let's you're kind of grinding, training, or whatever, and incrementally build back to that. So to have that today, I mean, how promising is that, knowing it's only April and you're right back up, closing in on 490 and beyond?
It's really promising, especially since I feel like I just had some bad practices and my legs were exhausted, but that's what happens when you're switching from indoor to outdoor season, is you got to go back to those plyometrics, running those hills, killing your legs, and then you're also trying to vault from full approach and your legs are just dead. So I came out here and I was like, okay, at least I have the cap square vault to kind of get my legs under me, like get some jumps in from full approach. And then my plan was hopefully that'll set me up to do well today. But I did, I mean, pretty much as well as I could have hoped for, and surprised myself a bit because it was, I mean, I haven't had that many training sessions since Worlds. I've been kind of tired dealing with those injuries and trying to get my conditioning in, so it's very promising that I'm already jumping 16 feet, and once I kind of nail down a few more things, I think that I'll be knocking on the door at that world record.
Very cool. Great job, Sandi.
Thank you.
Last one or two, what was the celebration? How'd you celebrate the world title?
I went immediately back to my hotel and iced my huge thigh and my elbow that I whacked during the competition, and I ate a huge cheeseburger. And we have a video of it, and it's awesome, but I was ravenous because we had drug testing and everything, so we're there for, and the competition was 3 hours long, so the only thing I wanted was just a big old cheeseburger.
And what was there the next week or two, any tough motivation to get back to training, or is it like, you know, what was that mentally like?
I took it easy for a couple of weeks. I was proud of myself for what I had just accomplished, and my body needed the healing time. And I think that's a big thing, is making sure you're giving your body time to heal, because we're asking it to do these amazing things, and you can only take so much before you need to just rest. So I was like, I'm going to take it easy, soak in this win, and then prepare for outdoor.
And lastly, tell me about Jeff Hartwig, your agent and coach when necessary. Just talk about Jeff and that relationship.
I love my relationship with Jeff because we are very similar people. We both have a very big passion for the pole vault and also for animals, so we have fun together. He's a reptile breeder, and I'm very much into that stuff. So we just have fun traveling the world together, but also he's a good coach, and he's really learned my vault over the last couple of years and can help me make those really important decisions in the moment. And he's a great coach and also a great friend.
Nice to have his guy that's had the experience and been at the highest levels to just bits of wisdom.
Exactly, yeah. He knows exactly how it feels when you have to inch your grip up 2 inches. He knows exactly what that pole is going to feel like. The timing of the jump is going to feel different. You need to move the standards different. So I think his experience really helps me and my confidence that we're making the right decisions with where to put the standards and what poles to be on.
Yeah. How are you going to spend that? What are you going to do with the big check? Is that go on the airplane home with you, or the drive back to Arkansas?
I do have to get on an airplane, so I'm probably going to find someone who can drive it back to Arkansas for me.
Gotcha. Congrats. Thanks.
Thank you.